GoPro made some big product announcements today, including a drone and 2 cameras. Let's start with the drone. The Karma is an $800 drone that's easy to use, has Hollywood-style camera stabilization, according to the CEO, and it arrives in October. It also folds up to fit in your backpack. And then the Hero 5 Session and the Hero 5 Black are the newest versions of the GoPro camera. They're waterproof without a case. They're reportedly more simple to use than previous versions. The Black is for extreme sports, costs $400. The Session costs $300. This holiday shopping season is, of course, crucial to the future success of GoPro, whose cameras did not do as well as they should have last year. You gonna get any of these things, Scott?
I like these. GoPros a lot. I've always liked GoPros. I think they're rad. I think footage from GoPros are always some of my favorite things to see. But I don't like snowboard like a crazy person or do any kind of weird cliff diving or underwater hoo-ha or any of that. And so because I'm not doing any of that stuff, I don't really need the rugged features or the ability to get 1080p video under 10 feet of water with sharks or whatever. So I tend to just go, well, my phone's good enough. And I have a feeling I'm not alone. I mean, there's a lot of people that are affecting their sales that are saying, nothing against GoPro, but isn't my phone good enough for what we're doing today? And there are less people buying that device. And I don't know if that means we need more active, adrenaline junkies out there, or if it's just simply the way things move. And as cameras get better on phones and personal devices, we are less likely to need a fully waterproof, crash-resistant camera that needs to normally be mounted on our head to be worth anything.
We have this guy, his name's Brian. He pushes buttons to switch to the video and moves sliders to make the audio sound good. And he is a big-time GoPro/drone guy. What do you think about this, Brian?
Well, I mean, yeah, like you said, I'm really into action cams and GoPro specifically, but I think the biggest part about this announcement is that it's modular, where you can take out the stabilization device and use that separately from the drone. Whereas, like, we were looking at DJI just recently at IFA, where they were kind of promoting the same sort of technology, but it wasn't something that you could detach from the drone. And I think as far as my extreme sports that I like to do is like motorcycle riding, and I've been waiting a long time for GoPro to release a drone like this. Mm-hmm. And I think the main aspect that I like of it is that it's so compact and you can throw it in your backpack. A lot of the drones that people like to use now, like the DJI that I mentioned, they're not that compact and they don't fold up very well. So I think this is kind of if you've been on the fence and waiting for something that you could pack up and then take with you somewhere that's a little bit more rugged, that's like my kind of, because when I go to places, all I can really carry is a backpack.
Right.
So for me, it's great, but like Scott said, I when I go on vacation or something like that, I rely on my phone now. I don't even bring my DSLR with me most places because the camera phones that I have are good enough. But now that this drone's out, I think it's $800. It's definitely on my Christmas list. We'll see if I can get one for review, though.
Yeah, that might be the better option.
So it's $800, but then the camera is extra, right? So it's $1,099 with the Hero 5 Black and $1,000 with the Hero 5 Session. But that's a really good point that you can separate the two, because the drone itself is the same price as the DJI Phantom, but you can't take the camera off and attach it to your helmet to do something else, right?
Right. And I think I was reading, I mean, all this is pretty new, so I was just reading it on my break time earlier today, but I think you can use it with the older versions of the GoPro too. You don't have to buy the newest GoPro to use it. So, I have a 3 and a 4, so, I would just get the drone and then attach that to it.
Yeah, I think what Brian's saying is we aren't excited about this because we're old.
We aren't very action-y at this stage.
I think we're all going to end up with drones at some point if we don't already. I love drones, and I think the combination makes perfect sense. And I think it's smart for GoPro to kind of tie their wagon to that a little bit. Yeah. It seems like maybe the future for the kinds of cameras that they make. But what would be really neat and nifty is to see them focus. It seems like a backward step in a lot of ways because it's a dedicated camera. And I definitely think they're putting dedicated cameras in the right place, drones and, somebody's weird helmet and all these other things to get the kind of shots they're getting. But maybe a step back and into the consumer space a little bit where, better video for popping it on your pocket or making smaller cameras that can be wearables, but not, a big brick of a camera or whatever. Maybe that's a place they should invest some time. I don't know, but it is kind of hard to watch them go from like this really cutting edge thing to people ignoring it because they think they have something that's good enough in their phone. And I'm not sure they do. I just think they do.
Right.
So it's not their fault. It's just the way the market's shifting.
Yeah, I mean, I happen to know a whole handful of 11, 12, and 13-year-olds that would love to have this, but it's like $800. So that's the price. So, you take someone like Brian that not like does these extreme sports, like that's more in line, maybe it's on his Christmas list. So it's in the realm of possibility for him, and and he appreciates video. So I think there's a lot of people like that. But yeah, I don't know, maybe not enough. Maybe not enough Brians out there.
Who knows, Brian? Maybe Father Robert will get you a really nice Christmas present.
Father Robert comes from the school of build it yourself, so I feel like he'll probably try and build a rugged competitor, rather than try and buy a GoPro drone.
It might even be better than the GoPro drone.
It depends on how much time he has.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't have a lot of time these days.